Alright. Ya, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain amma ba'du. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Honorable Head of English Department of UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, Ms. Hasnul Insani Johar PhD. Honorable our guest speaker today, Dr. Gumawang Jati. How are you, Pak Gumawang?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Pak Gumawang. And all of the participants, thank you for joining with us. Welcome to our webinar titled Teaching English with Technology in Higher Education. I'm Alfi Syahriani, and I will moderate this webinar for 2.5 hours. This webinar is organized by English Department of UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta and is held for educators, scholars, and learners to discuss a very relevant and significant topic on how we can utilize the media or tools to improve online teaching and learning process. Since we have experienced 2 years of pandemic, so we agree that we cannot rely on the conventional method. So we organized this webinar to introduce you to effective online learning. And this webinar is divided into several sessions. First is opening remarks that will be delivered by Ms. Hasnul Insani Johar. And the second, our main agenda, which is the presentation that will be delivered by our outstanding speaker today, Pak Gumawang Jati. And the third is workshop and discussion session. So for those who want to ask questions, you can speak directly or just chat on the chat box. And also provide your laptop or your device, yeah, because we will practice in the workshop session, okay? And lastly is the closing, and we will share the attendance list at the end of this section, so stay on Zoom. So not holding you any longer, I would like to invite Ms. Hasnul Johar to give her opening remarks to open this meeting. Please, Ms. Hasnul, the screen is yours.
Yeah. Thank you so much ya, Miss Alfi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, ma'am.
Ya, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain. Amma ba'd. I'm so happy to see you all, everyone here. Not only my students and our lecturers from UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, but also beyond Ciputat. I can see here from SI, from LITA, Linguistic Literature Association, Prof. Alfian ya, banyak nih teman-teman saya di sini. Selamat bergabung ya, thank you nih udah joining. Semoga kita bisa ketemu langsung ya, Kopi Darat. So thank you everyone for your time joining us today. Hopefully our webinar today on topic of teaching English with technology in higher education give you some inspiration and to improve our teaching style, teaching method, so not boring, yeah, but more fun, more up to date, and yeah, hopefully give you some more insight for today webinar. And thank you to Ms. Alfi and everyone, our friends who organizing this webinar from English Literature Department, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, and also our students who help us, and especially to our keynote speaker today, Prof. Gumawang Jati. Prof. Gumawang is actually my old friend ya. When I was teaching in PTIK, Perguruan Tinggi Ilmu Kepolisian, long time ago, masih imut-imut kita ya, Pak Gumawang. Pak Gumawang also teach us how to improve our teaching style. So not only technology, but also the method. So hopefully today we can give you some inspiration to improve our teaching style, but also we would like to invite any discussion or question after Pak Gumawang presenting. And I just want to share my little experience, Pak Gumawang, with technology. I try to use Kahoot, but the problem is Kahoot is very limited. See only 20 students. But usually here in UIN Jakarta, we have like 35 students, even more, 45 too. And so this is a problem. So some problem when we use some application. So my question, maybe later you can give us or share with us any free application maybe, or yeah, like my problems, I use Kahoot, but it is limited, only 20. So what else can we do if it is more than 20, for example? Because I encounter usually about 20 maximum 20 application 20 students for one application. So this is another problem. And also another problem we face so far in online. Some lecturers kind of complain in blended blended learning. So so distracted and so confused because they have to do teaching online and teaching offline at the same time. So for example, in offline class, we have to face 15 students, but at the same time, we have to face online students, about 15 students on Zoom. So it's sometimes we forget them, and sometimes we just focus on students in front of us. So kind of many problems. So hopefully, Prof. Gumawang can give us a suggestion or how to improve our teaching style, especially not only on Zoom, but also in blended and plus offline. So like three kind, Zoom and then blended and offline. How to upgrade our teaching style. So not only the content, but the teaching method to make our learning more fun and enjoyable and not boring. Yeah, I think that's all. And hopefully this seminar can invite more discussion and also question and answer after this. So enjoy these 2 hours. Don't be shy to raise any problem that you encounter so far, especially in COVID era. Thank you so much again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hasnul, for giving opening remarks. Now let's move on to the next session, our main agenda, which is the presentation from Pak Gumawang Jati. Okay, Dr. Gumawang Jati he is a senior English lecturer and teacher trainer. He pursued his education undergraduate degree in IKIP Sanata Dharma in 1987 and took Master of Art, University of Warwick, England, and a doctorate degree in Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, Bandung. Gumawang Jati also the president of ITIL. Maybe some of you are familiar with ITIL. It stands for Indonesian Technology Enhanced Language Learning Association. So it is an association of for language educators, practitioners, scholars, and educational technology enthusiasts, right, Pak Gumawang? Maybe you can tell us how to join that association as well later, because I'm also interested in it. Yeah,
just go to the website.
Okay, all right. Pak Gumawang Jati also the former head of language center in Institut Teknologi Bandung, and he ran many projects with the British Council Indonesia, other foundation, and Seamolek. Am I right? How to read this? To plan, design, and organize training. Okay, and Pak Gumawang also has been invited as a speaker in many seminars and workshops across Indonesia. So he must be a great speaker. So I invite Pak Gumawang Jati to present the materials, please.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Alfi. Thank you, Ibu Asnul, for inviting me to give a talk here, and we're going to try to have an interactive talk later on. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm trying very hard to think of technology for higher education. So it's going to be a lot of provoking questions. Let's discuss that so that maybe we can find the answer. Maybe yes, maybe no. Let's see what we have and what we can think about. So I'm going to look at the scope in a little bit more wider in the context of higher education, not in the context of high school or junior high schools. Yeah. Allow me to share my screen. If you have any questions later, feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to type that in the chat box so that we can discuss that right away. Yeah. So teaching English, very specific, with technology and higher education. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about learning space, not directly about the technology, but the space where we learn in the context of higher education. I'm going to ask a lot of questions and maybe a discussion later on about virtual space for higher education. And then number 3, the interaction, how we interact in the learning space, how we interact in the virtual space in the context of higher education. Yeah. Then maybe we can talk about technology tools for the interaction. Yeah. The technology tools, I'm going to mention some, but not all. And then you can always search in the Google for that. Yeah, but we have to put that in the context first. Okay. Now, first question. The best place for studying. I want you to answer in one word, not in the chat box. I'm going to put the link in the chat box. Just give me a second so that you can answer the questions there. Please do so. Yeah, I put it in the chat box, the link. Click that. The best place for studying. One word. Silahkan. Yang paling enak banget untuk belajar. Di mana itu? Ya, type it there. Type your answer and then submit. Gitu aja. Let's see what we have. Yeah, joining this workshop is going to be, this presentation is going to be very long, akan panjang. Ambil minum, ambil camilan, sambil ngemil, sambil camilan boleh, bebas saja. So it's going make it informal, relax, and then we can discuss things. Yeah. Okay. Some of you mentioned classroom, some of you mentioned library, offline classroom, some of you mentioned room, at home, beach. Okay, good. Cafe. In the class directly. On the internet. My own bedroom. Ya. Mari pendapat yang lain. My room, my classroom. Okay. Yeah. Okay, quiet place. Yes, very good. So it's the best place for most of you. Dimanapun asal menyenangkan, ya di mana? Dimanapun asal menyenangkan, di mana? Pilih satu dong, one word aja. Ya, one word, not too many words, just one. Name of a place. Okay. Okay, most of you here, 6 participant answer library, dimanapun menyenangkan, only one, bedroom, classroom 2, bedroom 2, my room 2, the garden 2, cafe 1, my bedroom 1, yeah, okay, good. Let's see. So most of you choose library. Ya, boleh sih. Library, ya, tidak apa-apa. Yeah, let's have a look at this. If you study in the library, my question is, what's in the library right now? Ada apa sih perpustakaannya? Kok sampai nyaman gitu loh? Terus ada yang bilang bedroom, nggak ngantuk di bedroom, nggak langsung tertidur, ya. But if you think that's the best place for study, that's okay. Yeah. It's a personal response there. Okay, so thank you very much for the response. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions like this along the way of my presentation. So be prepared with your mobile phone or your laptop. Yeah. Okay, thank you for answering that. Yeah, so mostly still library. Yeah, if we look at this, library, bedroom, my room, classroom, garden, di gedung adab. Okay, yeah, but 6 out of that many said library. Now let's see what happened. Okay, this is what happened. Learning space. 30 years ago, or 3 decades ago, 20 years ago when I met Ibu Hasnul and PTK, classroom, it's the primary space for learning in education. Yeah. So if you said, where do you learn? I'm going to learn in the classroom. That was 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Other space, so it's similar to classroom, is included library, faculty office, so that you can talk to your lecturer for individual consultation, mentoring, or perhaps the cafe in town. Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Sorry, 3 decades ago, 30 years ago. Classroom masih dianggap the most space for learning. Jadi kalau nggak belajar, kalau nggak di kelas itu nggak belajar, gitulah kira-kira. Ya. So that's the learning space 3 decades ago. Kalau sekarang masih Bapak Ibu masih beranggapan bahwa library masih menjadi learning space that's comfortable for you, perlu merenung, ya. Itu aja. Perlu merenung and think about it. Now, the rapid development of internet, the rapid development of artificial intelligence, AI, development of virtual reality, augmented reality, terus sekarang yang berkembang namanya metaverse, akan mengusik kehidupan kita juga. Then we have to think a lot of things about education. Yeah. Now, now you have to answer this in a chat box. Yeah. Answer my question. What do you know about icon number 1? Can you answer that in the chat box, please? Icon number 1, this one. What do you know about that? Tokopedia. Good.
Tokopedia.
Yeah. So you know Tokopedia, online shop. Thank you. No idea. Tokopedia, online shop, Topet, marketplace, online shop, marketplace. The name is Tokopedia. It's a e-commerce. Yeah. Now that's number 1, Tokopedia. Number 2 nanti dulu satu-satu dulu. So Tokopedia, if you ask what is the biggest toko in Indonesia, probably Tokopedia. Yeah, that's in the marketplace. Yeah. The question is, do you think Tokopedia has a building like a conventional toko? Can you answer yes or no in the chat box? Apakah Tokopedia itu punya bangunan gedung yang gagah meriah gitu? No. So Tokopedia, but they don't have toko. Gimana ceritanya? Karena development of internet, artificial intelligence, and virtual reality and augmented reality digabung menjadi satu, terus lahirlah marketplace. Ya, so it's become a marketplace there.
Ini tentang ICT, gabungan ya.
Should I use English all of the time then? Okay, so that's become the biggest toko. Yeah, but there is no building. We have to relate that with our education setting in a moment. Yeah. Now look at number 2. What do you know about icon number 2? Can you put that in the chat box, please? That's a Gojek. Thank you, Santi Pratiwi. Gojek. Yes. What's that? Sonia. Okay. Thank you. Gojek. Okay. It's a Gojek. Yes. So it's a transport company. How many motorbike? That's my question. Does the Gojek has or have? 1,000? Are you sure that belong to Gojek? Many? How many motorbikes? So many? Thank you, Tifa. None. The owner of the motorbike is not the Gojek. The owner is the driver. So the biggest transport in Indonesia, but they don't have motorbike or they don't have a car. So that's changing the paradigm of business, changing the paradigm of how we live. Then we have to relate later with higher education. Yeah. Number 3. What do you know about icon number 3? What do you know about icon number 3? Dana, e-wallet. Good. No idea Dana and e-wallet. Yes, it's called Dana. That's an e-wallet, electronic wallet, or e-money. Yeah. You cannot see the money. You cannot feel the money, but it's there. So you do not need coin. You do not need the paper for that. Meaning that money can be replaced by e-wallet. And everyone agree with that. Become a convention. You can pay with just typing the number. So that's changing the way we pay the bill, changing the way we pay our transport, changing the way we pay things. In the past, it was a kartu credit or credit card, but now e-wallet, and there are other type, yeah, than Shopee Pay and other, yeah. How about number 4, Netflix? Yeah, what it is? What is Netflix? Streaming service. Thank you very much. Movie and chill. Thank you. Yes, movie streaming, movie. So the way we watch movie, that we go to the cinema, now it's a different. You do not need to go to the cinema. Then you just need a connection. And you have to pay, subscribe. Then you can choose the movie that you want to. There is a freedom for individual which movie they prefer. They got so many so that they can choose. If you go to the cinema, there is a schedule. If you go to campus, there is a schedule that you have to follow. If you go to massive online massive MOOC, massive online open course, you can choose the subject that you want. You go to campus, you cannot choose. Yeah. So there is a difference. And the last one is number 5, Spotify. What is it? Yeah, it's a streaming music. If you want to listen to a music, then you go to Spotify. Now there is no cassette player. Now there is no CD player. Yeah, think about that. There is no factory about CD any longer, and they move to digital. Then you go to a music streaming company. And there are many, but the most popular is Spotify. You can have it for free with advertisement, or you can subscribe without advertisement. Yeah. So this is the rapid development of internet and artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality change the way we shop, the way we travel, the way we pay, the way we watch movie, the way we listen to music. Do you think the rapid development of internet and artificial intelligence also change the way we study? Think about that. Change the way we teach. Think about that. Yeah. Now, the notion of a classroom expand and evolve now. We have a virtual space. We have a classroom, then we have Google Class. We have a classroom, then we have learning management system from campus, SPADA with a lot of different names. So classroom have expanded and evolved. Virtual space has taken some of the role of the classroom. So if you said that the classroom is the best place to study, you have to start thinking of virtual space in the classroom, like Google Classroom and other providers. Yeah. Now, think about what changes has happened in your campus the last 5 years, and what changes that you wish to happen. I want you to answer this question in here. I'm going to share the link in, I'm going to share the link in the chat box. Okay, what changes do you expect? What has changed in your campus or in your school? Yeah, we are talking about higher education, so probably campus. But if you're working at school, you can mention the school. What has changed and what changes do you want? Click plus to answer the questions. Again, if you have any questions along the way, you can interrupt, raise your hand, or type it in the chat box. Yeah, relax, don't need to worry. The link of the Padlet, please. I put it in the chat box. Bu Eka, okay. I put it in the chat box. Do you see that? Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ibu Eka. Nice to see you here. The assignment procedures, learning activities, and also the surrounding exchange. The learning mode, yes. My campus, the building, the facilities becoming better, the service quality is better. Okay, very good. So the infrastructure has changed. Thank you. And if you can dream or you can request, what changes do you expect to occur in your university? Teaching and learning activities has changed. Good. The way we submit the assignment. So meaning that the classroom has evolved with the digital classroom. Yeah. The way education is taught, it feels more informal and fresher. Very good. Our engagement with the students. Okay, good. Yeah. More Arif Rahman, the basic change is less necessity of buildings. Yeah, maybe you can answer that in the Padlet if you like. Then what do you expect to occur? You can answer it there as well. Please do so. So you expect change is the assessment. Motivation to improve ourselves. So it's more on teacher professional development. Thank you. The less necessity of the building and less personal relationship. Less personal relationship. Thank you. The learning facilities including technology to improve the development of learning activities. So you are not that happy with the improvement of technology for the learning activities. Thank you. Yeah, more scholarship. Thank you. Yes, Ibu Ana, thank you very much. It's good to see you here. I want to feel my campus become a university before I graduate. Yes. So not you are not feeling like studying in a university. Okay. Building facilities. We need certain platform that provide an opportunity to get authentic material. Okay. We wait for another minute or two for this activity. So what we can see here, what has changed is mostly some changing the way you submit the assignment, the procedure of learning activities, learning mode has changed, how you submitted the assignment has also changed. More informal, it's changing in a good way. Good, the building change. more modern technology and the media, very good, but still need a platform. Okay. What you want to change? Assessment, motivation to improve ourselves, less necessity of buildings and less personal relationship. Key learning facilities. More practical and flexible education. Yeah. More practical and flexible education. So it's like user-friendly for education. So that kind of thing that you want to change. Okay, very good. We can come back to this later, but this is what has changed in your setting and what you expect to change. So if we look at your response, the changing, it's there, involving the space in the digital. So involving the space in the virtual space. So you have a classroom going on, and then you have activities along the way in the digital space. Great. Now, let's move on. Yeah. So virtual space is an entirely new environment. Yeah. For some lecturers, for old lecturers like me. So it's the same way. Tokopedia is new for some people like me. I might have problem in buying things in a Tokopedia. Okay. In my context of teaching, maybe I will feel, or some people at my age will be not easy to assign the student assignment and then submit it in a digital, for example, email, simple as email, or in Google Drive. Yeah, because Google Drive is a virtual space. Yeah, but people, everyone, like it or you don't like it, we have to work hand in hand with the virtual space. I have to learn a lot. Yeah, the younger generation, they learn quicker. Yeah, the old generation, they learn slower. That's reality, not only in Indonesia, but everywhere in the globe. So, virtual space is any location, anywhere, where people can meet using network and a digital device, not meeting personally, but meeting virtually. Yeah, because that's virtual space. Virtual learning space, there are many that we're going to talk about that. Yeah, so we have a marketplace, then we have learning space. We have space for listening to music, then we have a virtual learning for space. So it's the development of the whole range of the technology. Yeah. Okay, now let's look at interaction in the context of higher education or in education. Yeah, this is going to look at this chart. This is from Moore 1998 and Anderson 2001. Usually, when we learn, we interact with learning materials. That's cognitive load or cognitive presence. Then we have a teacher inside the classroom or in a virtual class. Yeah, you interaction with the teacher. So you can interact with the teacher physically. You can interact with the teacher virtually. Then social presence. You interact with your friend. You interact with your friend in a physical space or in a virtual space. Yeah. So if this interaction happen, then learning might happen. So in your campus, or when you teach, if you ask your student to interact with learning materials only, maybe learning will not happen. If there is an interaction with the learning material and interacting with you as a teacher or lecturer, then that's getting better. After you give the input, then they can interact with their peers or their friends, then learning will happen. But now there's another element, artificial intelligence. There are a lot of smart machines that you have to interact, you as a teacher, and also if you are as a student, so that learning happen. Yeah, we're going to talk about that towards the end of my talk today. Yeah. Now let's have a look at one by one, slowly. Interaction with the learning material. At a personal, private taking time, so you have to analyze, you have to synthesize, you have to reflect, you read books, you watch YouTube, you watch movies, you listen to your recorded version of your lecture, and so on. Yeah, so it's very individual. Now, in a lot of places, then we have to ask question, what learning materials do the lecturers provide? How independent are the learners? Yeah, that will influence a lot of the way you interact with learning materials. How complete is the library? How complete, what's your knowledge about e-library, for example? Yeah. How independent are the learners? If they're independent learners, they can find their own materials. But if they are not independent, that's become the job of the lecturer to guide the students or to provide or suggest the students to go to the learning materials. Yeah. Now, my interpretation of this mode, learning with interaction with the material, that's individually reading, individual viewing, or listening activities. Then it's an oral or written reflection, writing journal, taking a quiz, taking a test, and so on. So all of this interaction with the material will make me better or learn new things. Yeah, that's my interpretation. Now let's have a look at the digital. Yeah. This is how you interact with learning material. How many of you ever visit open library? Do you know about open library? Can you click yes or no in the chat box, please? Yes, Ikawa Yuningsih, thank you. Do you know open library? Yes, Sonia, thank you. Masintos, yes, yes, very good. So you know open library. Maybe you have visited that. City, yes, thank you. So you know that. So you can suggest your students to study in the open library. Maybe you can assign a task for the students to learn and to go to this open library. Now let's have a look at what's in there. If you ask the student to go to open library, it's free. You can read, you can borrow a lot of books. If your student is not an independent learner, they need guidance. Yeah. How about Z library? Yes, it's very similar. Yeah. But then you have to give advice to your students if they are not independent type of independent learner. So you can give suggestion. Yeah. You can suggest not e-library, but library on campus or in the school. But then again, you can go to the open library. Yeah, so you can give suggestion there. Now, how many of you familiar with ELO? That's ELO. It's a library for listening. English listening library online. It's free. Are you familiar with that? Can you type in the chat box yes or no? No? Okay. That's for listening activity. Tifa, no. Fitri, yes. Can you respond the chat, please? No. Nova, yes. Okay, so not yet. No. Okay, some of you, yes, some of you know. In the past, we have language laboratory. Yeah. In the past, using CD-ROM and maybe using cassette. Yeah. Right now, CD-ROM is not available. So we have to change our libraries. Now there is an ELO that's for free. It's an online library. Let's have a look at that in a minute. Yeah. Not in detail. I'm going to put this link in the chat box later on if you want to access that. Okay. Just 1 second. I put it in the chat box. Yes. Yeah. Hello. Okay, that's English listening lesson library online, and it's free. So you name it. Yeah, there are a lot of resources, a lot of audio resources for the student to interact with. But then, as a teacher, a university teacher or a high school teacher, this time as a more context of university teacher, you should advise your learner to go to this online library. But then they need guidance. Yeah, there are so many. If you just go to this, go to ELO, they might get confused. Yeah. Then you can have a video, you can have audio and level and so on. So before you advise your students, my suggestion, you explore this, what the strengths and what the weaknesses of this listening lesson library online. Yeah. So that you can tell what's in it to your students, so that the students can interact with the materials by themselves. Yeah. In the past, if they want to improve the listening, they have to go to the language lab. Now, no more. What you need is a mobile phone, headset, and connection, and they can go to library, listening library like this. Yeah, for free. Okay, that's ELO. How many of you familiar with TED Talks education? Yeah, yes, Lesiana, thank you. Yes, ini pasti yang muda-muda, because that's a good resources. Yeah, if you're a lecturer, maybe then you can assign your student to go to TED Talk education site and give them some tasks to do. Yeah, it's a fresh, original, native speaker, sometime good English. It will improve the students' listening, okay, and also understanding lecture. So if you click TED Talk education, they all talking about education. Yeah, not necessarily English. You can choose the lecturer that you want to listen to. Okay, so there is a freedom. You can choose, like Spotify. You can choose the type of music, like Netflix. you can choose what film to watch. This one, tab, you can choose which inspiring lecture that you want to follow. For example, this semester you're studying about curriculum, how to design curriculum and what is curriculum and so on. You can click here, 7 talk for inspiring transform curriculum. So you have to look at the several angle of that. Yeah, very rich resources. It's good for higher education. It's the task for the teacher or the lecturer to explore the richness of these resources. Yeah, then you can assign a task to students. When they go inside, maybe they will watch other things, not just what the teachers assign, because there are a lot of other inspiring talk related to education. Yeah. Okay, Natasha, what do you like most about TED Talk in education? Would you like to share with us, Natasha, Cindy? Can you open your microphone, or do you want to type it in the chat box? Anyone want to share? What's your experience exploring TED Talk? Other than Natasha, anyone? Can you raise your hand? Atau tidak? The place for practice speech, sir. Yes. So do you like that? Okay. Other response about TED Talk? Do you think if you watch TED Talk, then will improve your English? Yes or no in the chat box, please. Yeah, definitely yes. If you watch vocabulary, thank you very much, Ibu Eka. If you watch TED Talk, do you think you improve your knowledge about education? Can you answer in the chat box, yes or no? Knowledge about education. Of course, yes. Why do you think improving your knowledge? Because you want it. That's the big difference. I want to watch this specific lecture. So there is an inner motivation. Imagine if you come to class, then you don't like the lecture, but you have to be there because of the attendance. Maybe your knowledge will not increase as much as if you learn something and you watch it in that. Yeah, so there is a difference. A place that provides speeches in many aspects. Thank you very much, Lena. Good. Correct. Yeah. So TED Talk like this, if you're a lecturer, please tell your student or assign to watch just one, and then they will get addicted. They're improving their English, and also they're improving the knowledge. So what's in TED Talk? And the motivation of following TED Talk and the motivation of coming to a lecture, it's different. I'm not saying that TED Talk is better, but it's different. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's move on. How many of you know the American English Open MOOC, Massive Open Online Course? Yes or no? Thank you, Fatimah. You yes. Ibu Eka Wahyuningsih. Yes. Other? Open Massive Online Course? No. Rifa. Thank you, Rifa. Other? No. Yeah. No. No. Okay. So it's a massive open online course and it's free. Yeah. It's worth that you introduce this in higher education. Yeah. Now let's have a look little what's in it. Let me close some of this. Okay. Yeah. This is a massive online course, English. Yeah. Look at here, English for media, English for business, entrepreneurship, TESOL, methodology, English for young learners, integrate critical thinking, integration and culture. Yeah, so you got a lot of related things to your curriculum in higher education. So have a look at that. So it's worth exploring. Yeah, there is a English teaching forum as well. You can have a free issues here. Yeah, resources and program. You have other resources. You have the MOOC. So let's have a look at the MOOC. Yeah, this is the MOOC. You have a teacher's guide creating lesson, PDF. Yeah. Then you have a Word document here. Have a look at that, explore, and maybe you can integrate what's in the digital with your physical classroom. You open TED Talk, then maybe you can integrate some available there with your physical classroom. Itu yang harus dilakukan. Not many teachers thinking that way. There are a lot of things in the virtual, but then try to think, sit down a little and integrate that. And how you modify your lesson, how you change a little bit of the objective and become deeper and things like that. Yeah. Okay. Another one, there is also online open course from the British Council. If you click that, it's also free. Yeah. What is MOOC? How does it work? So self-explaining there, becoming a better exploration for TPT. There are some that's worth exploring. Yeah. So explore that and try to integrate with what you have in a physical classroom. Yeah. Okay. And how familiar are you with a test with the English score from the British Council? Anyone knows about that or ever try about that? Mobile English test and certificate? Yes or no? Please. Can you respond in the chat box? No? Okay. No. Yes, some of you. No. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So in the past, if you want to know your English level, then you have to take TOEFL or you have to take IELTS or you have to take other type of tests. And you have to go to a certain place and then you have to pay and then you have to sit down and so on. Now, the mobile English test and certificate using AI, and it's in mobile phone. Yeah, so you have to download the apps in your mobile phone. The test will take around 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, then you take the test. Then you will know the result right away. If you want the certificate, you have to pay. If you don't want to have the certificate, then you don't have to pay anything. And you know your score. Yeah, equivalent with your IELTS. Yeah, so my IELTS is around 5 or 6, maybe, or 7, based on that. So it's good for you to predict yourself before you take a real test. Yeah, so that's a new way of testing. A new way of testing. In the past, it's expensive, that you have to go to a place and things like that. Right now, you can test yourself using your mobile, and for free. If you want the certificate, then you have to pay. Download it on your own. I'm not from the British Council or English Score Company, but I tried that, and it's fun. And I advise my student to take the test and screenshot and show it to me, so that I know what level they are. Yeah. Okay. that's English score so far. Do you have any questions? You write that in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and open your microphone if you have any questions. Or no questions? Can you respond in the chat box, please? Anyone want to ask?
Any questions? Maybe you can continue, Pak Gumawan.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's move on. Yeah. Another things. So that's the resources. Now, how you will reflect, how you will take note, how will you write your note, your experience of learning. How many of you familiar with Wakelet? Can you respond in the chat box, please? Yes or no? Wakelet? Yes. Eka, no, no. Wakelet? Rabi, no, no. Okay, okay. You should. Okay, very good. Wakelet is a place for you to save your work, organize, and also you can share the content. So if you're studying in a higher education, doing a research together, or doing an assignment in a group, or doing the same assignment, but you want to share your resources, you can go to Wakelet. Yeah, it's very handy. I like this a lot because it's handy and I can update with my mobile or laptop. No need to go to laptop, but it's very friendly with mobile. Let me show you how it works. And also I might share this in the chat box if you want to try it later. Just give me a second. Oh, okay. My computer responds very slow. That's okay. Yeah. So Wakelet is a place for you to share a lot of things. For example, I'm doing AI and ELT and assessment. Yeah, I want to know more about that, and I'm going to invite a friend of mine, students, to take part in this. I need their ideas. Yeah. Then I can share this with my friend. This is what I have, for example, in the past. Then I got this key question assessment for learning. Assessment for learning. This is all of the collection. Yeah. And this is not just my collection, because I can invite other people to be part of this. You can post website, you can post pictures, you can post notes. It's very handy. Yeah. So you can share and collaborate with others. So if I share this, for example, then I can share it with friends. Yeah. Or invite collaborators. I can invite friends to join and working on AI and ELT and assessment. Yeah. I'm going to show you one that's, for example, this one, or this one. This is, I'm doing it with Pak Willy long ago, just an example, just to try, mencoba saja. So I'm sharing PDF direct. Yeah. So you can share website, you can share PDF like this, and you can share pictures, you can share a lot of things. Yeah. So if you are a student, I advise you to have a Wakelet account, and you can share your resources with your friend at the same topic, who works on the same topics, for your dissertation or for your assignment or for your essay assignment and so on. Yeah. Or if you do research together with your lecture, then you can ask or advise your lecturer to have an account in Wakelet. Okay, that's Wakelet. There is it provides the best everything concerned in a visual. Thus, the learner will become more independent. Yes, agree, Pak Sapai. Yeah. Okay, so this is a way of working together, sharing in the cloud, virtually, digitally, and along with your real project, your discussion in a physical world. How many of you familiar with journal, reflection app? Reflection app, it's a place where you can write notes and you can share with your friend. It's friendly, it's a mobile, so you can download that. Look for a reflection app, then you will find one. The old style is you become a blogger. Yeah, it's no longer that popular, but if you have a blog, that's very good. Other people can comment. Wakelet is more friendly. They can comment and they can send you something. In the blog, you cannot send a picture. You cannot send a file. Yeah, so it's there is a limitation. Blogger is more for journaling for you. Yeah, but Wakelet is more organizing resources, share content with your team. Yeah. If you're new to Wakelet, welcome and please do exploration, and that will make your life easier so that you have a virtual working space with your team and also along with your physical. Yeah. Okay, now my question, which one will you recommend this to your students? Wait a minute. I think doesn't work that well. Oh, okay. Okay, we have talked a lot about things. Then let me check my Padlet just a second. No, not this. Yeah. Now, I want you, I've talked a lot about Open Library, ELO, TED Talk, American English, British Council Mooc, and Wakelet. Now, I want you to answer this, and I'm going to share the link in the chat box so that you are not feeling sleepy. And a reflection. Which one, or pick one resource that you will recommend to your student and tell us the reason why. Very short. Yeah. Type that in the Padlet, please. Click plus as usual, then you can start typing your comment. One of you will recommend British Council because so many online classes. Yeah. Interesting, white clad, so that the students will become more organized in keeping their files. I agree. Filing for digital resources is not easy. We cannot do it any longer, rely on our drive. Yeah, that's why we have a Google Drive. Yeah, it can correct videos, images, link, yeah, and many more. Agree. Thank you for the thought. TED Talk for Education, provide a lot of knowledge. Yes. And also there are a lot of other sciences in TED Talks for Education. Elo is also interesting. You recommend that, but at the beginning, maybe you need to give assignment so that they explore. If you say just explore Elo, I don't think that they will explore. Yeah, show the one that you think the students like that, then the student fall in love with Elo, and then they will keep doing it. Yeah. Okay, open library is good for improving students' reading. Good. Okay, give you like another 2 minutes maybe to have a look at this and try this. You can continue, of course, later after the workshop or after my presentation. This is the way, the new way that we share ideas using Padlet. So I'm using Padlet a lot. You can have a synchronous discussion like what I'm doing right now, or you can have asynchronous discussion. Yeah. So think about using Padlet, think about answer garden. Yeah. Let's see how I practice this interaction with you. So think about that. Okay. Yeah. TED Talk, good to got knowledge about a lot of topics. Yeah, they enjoy and gaining knowledge at the same time. Okay, thank you very much for sharing in the Padlet, and hope some of you are new, some are not. Hopefully you learn something from this. This is still interaction with the materials. Yeah. Now let's move on. You can still working on that if you like. Let me move on. Yeah. Now interaction with the teachers. Yeah. So interaction with the materials, like we see that there are a lot of materials in the internet, there are a lot of resources, but still the lecture play a very important role. You have to introduce to your students. Yeah, you have to introduce not just physical library, but online. Yeah, you have to introduce a lot of things that we have discussed. Now let's focus on interaction with the teachers. Interaction with the teachers is usually in the classroom. Yeah. Then the teacher take controls. The teacher control the activities and control the interaction. Okay. Sometimes the lecture is very boring, just sitting in front of the class and reading a book, and then the student listen. Think about that. Maybe that's not a good way because there is no interaction. The keyword is interaction. But again, the teacher is the control. The students cannot do anything. They cannot raise their hand. Hey, sir, I'm sorry. Can you stand up, please? You cannot say that. Yeah, because this type of interaction for decades has been controlled by the teacher. Yeah. Now, a question for a teacher like me, meaning the old generation. What makes my student listen to my talk when there are so many resources on the internet that they can listen to or they can read? Why should I tell them? So think about that. Why should I give you a speech about this? How can I contextualizing my subject in my students' context? That's become very hard. Yeah, when you see and you just experienced earlier that there are so many things in the virtual world, in the virtual space. That's become a big question for us, the teacher. So activities, that's the key. It's become a spotlight that we have to manipulate that in a lot of ways. So this is my interpretation. It's a synchronous interactive lecture, should be interactive. It could be virtual using Zoom right now. It could be asynchronous, recorded. Yeah, but again, the teacher led the activities. The way I run Zoom with you right now, I try to make it interactive. I didn't see you. I didn't see your raising hand. I don't see you whether you're drinking coffee or tea, or I didn't see you what you're wearing. Doesn't really matter. But I control the activities, and I ask you to go to the Padlet. I ask you to fill this. I ask you to respond in the chat. That's the way I try to make it interactive. Yeah, maybe not very successful, but I'm trying. Okay. Now, this is a synchronous interactive lecture. You can use Zoom. You can use WhatsApp for interaction if the situation is very limited, or you can use Telegram. Yeah. Telegram, it has a video chat feature. It's low bandwidth. If you're living in the area where your students have the problem of accessing through the internet connection, and it's very difficult to do with Zoom or Google Meet or WebEx or other things, Telegram video chat, that's become an alternative. You can try it. I have tried some, and so far it's okay. Not perfect, but it's okay. Yeah, so you can explore that. Better explore that without the video, but just the audio. Yeah, you can share screen as well, just like Zoom. You can share screen, you can have the chat box and so on. So you can explore that. Yeah, think about that. Okay, that's an alternative. Zoom is expensive and Telegram is free. It can accommodate up to 2,000. So you can invite not just your class, but the whole school to listen to you. Okay, explore that, Googling and how to do it, you will find it fine. Explore that. That's another alternative. because everything is in the internet, then before and after class, that's become a key of the activities. The teacher will lead the activities. It's formal. So before class, the lecturer should assign something. For example, go to LO, go to TED, things like that. That's another activities before the class. Yeah. Now you can have answer garden. You have tried answer garden. That's a brainstorming activities. Yeah. Doesn't need to have an account. I don't need an account to create this. Very instant. You can create it on the spot. Then you can post that link to your student. For example, I'm going to ask you practice this. Yeah. This is, I will say, this is for after class. What do you think, for example, of my class today? Okay, that's for brainstorming. 40 characters. I skip, and I create. That's it, as simple as that. I do not need to log in, and you do not need to log in. There is a facilities like this that you can use before or after the lecture. Yeah, so that's another way to make your lecture interesting. Okay, if I put that in the chat right now, then you can say something about my presentation. What do you think about my presentation today? Try to answer it. Then I will get the feedback, honest feedback. If you ask inside the classroom, what do you think about my class? And every student will say, very good, sir. You are inspiring, blah, 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 blah. This one, they become honest. Boring, Pak. I don't understand this part. You speak too fast, whatever. Yeah. So you will get an honest answer. Now you can type, what do you think of my class today? I will not see you. I don't know who write this, but I got honest answer. I have to do a reflection on my teaching because what I thought, it's already in the Google. It's already in the virtual world. Maybe they know it by themselves. Maybe I don't need to focus on this. Maybe I will, and so on and so on. Yeah, it can become a very useful tools for the lecture in the context of higher education. Yeah. So if you said inspiring, I'm happy, but then I will not give a good mark or bad mark anyway. I don't know who wrote this. Then I got the honest answer from the participants. Yeah. So you can use this answer garden for that. For that purpose, you can also ask questions because this is only word. Before your lecture, what do you think of teaching young learners in a remote area? For example, if you're teaching young learners, one word. So you got the students thinking before your class. Inside the classroom, then you can refer to that. And that's become different type of engaging. Again, that's become an activity. Yeah. The key is activities, because the knowledge is no longer in the lecture, it's no longer on campus, it's in the virtual world. Okay, think about that. Very simple tools, but I found it powerful. Explore that, yeah, and you will amazed with this. Okay, so that's a type of tools that you can use, activities. Then you can have open library. I mentioned earlier, you can say, go to YouTube and listen to that. Or you can use Padlet, yeah, for brainstorming tool and collect ideas for working together in a group and so on and so on. Like I asked you to do something in the Padlet. Now, how many of you familiar with Padlet? Can you answer that in the chat box, please? Padlet is very popular. There are a lot of things that you can do. The more you do it, you will get familiar with that. Yes, not popular for you yet, so try it. It's free. Yeah, go to padlet.com. It's free. Explore that with your friend. Ibu nudge me. Yeah. Okay. How many of you familiar with three-sider? How many of you familiar with three-sider? Yeah, Ibu Eka, you are familiar with a lot of tools. No. Others, please, can you respond? How many of you familiar with three-sider? Not yet. Come on, not yet. Hima, yes. Tatu, you do. Thank you. No. Okay, let's try. Let's try some activity with three-sider. If you are familiar, maybe you will get idea how I play around with three-sider. Yeah, let's see threesider.com. Have a look at this. Then let me see what I have. Okay, I want this one. How to start integrating technology in your setting. Share your ideas. I want you to discuss that, so I click share. I click this link, then I put it in the chat box. To put in everyone in the meeting. Apakah sama dengan answer garden? No, it's different. Yeah, it can be used for similar to answer garden, but you can use it differently. Yeah. So click that in the link. Then how to start integrating technology in your setting? Click add idea. So you click idea here, and then type your idea, type your name, and save. Okay. Then your friend later can respond, agree or disagree with you. So try it for fun. I give you like 3 minutes or so. You can use Bahasa Indonesia if you like. What idea? Then try the pro and cons, and even you can do voting. In answer garden, you cannot do that. You cannot say pro and cons, but you can. You cannot add more ideas, just word for answer garden. Okay, can you click that, please, and try to add ideas? Give you like around 3 minutes or so. Ask the student to go to a particular website. Thank you. Then if I add argument, then I will say positive. Then I can ask question like, can you, okay. Give me, for example, of the website. And I said, click, save. Yeah. Okay, other than Icha, can we try so that we got the idea of the three-sider? Good. By TPAC lesson plan. Okay, no name yet. That's okay. Involving class and metaphors. Brilliant, River. Ask students to go to a particular website, okay. Make instruction as detailed and simple as possible so that students can easily follow the learning agenda. Okay. Then you can try to add comment here, add argument, whether you agree or disagree with the ideas there. Decide an appropriate platform based on the student's need. Okay. So the idea of Tricyder is that the student having a discussion among students, yeah, they can put here at argument, argue about the idea presented by students. Okay, you can post here not only text, you can post a link, for example, to YouTube or to TED Talk. Then the students can answer about ideas, what they get from watching. Okay, so that's another way. So there are many ways that you can use. You can ask the student to post, for example, any video or ideas in here. Then the student will put the ideas there. So here can be a link to a website, link to a video, and so on and so on. I do this a lot before my class. I'm teaching critical reading. So before my class, usually I will use Tricyder energy. Which one? What do you think about clean energy? Is it expensive? What type of clean energy appropriate for Indonesia? So before reading the text that I'm going to give, they are talking about the topics. Yeah, so that's building up the knowledge. So when they read the text, then I will do something else. Yes, Pak Yudilim. Saya coba dengan siswa, kadang mereka post komen yang nyeleneh. Good. Apa Tricyder bisa filter? This is a direct message to me. No, Tricyder cannot filter. Tricyder is a machine, Pak. They cannot think. They don't know which one is polite, which one is polite, Pak. So that's the job of the lecturer or the job of the teacher. Like this one, pakai nama dihapus, Pak. Like this one, then you can later on you can inform the students that you have to write the name, if not, and so on and so on. So rule and regulation. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you got the idea of Tricyder and start thinking, what can you do with your students? Because there is a space, a virtual space, a discussion that you can do, and you can bring it in the classroom so that making your quality of teaching become better. Yeah, so you can use before or after the lecture. Yeah. So this is an example of teacher-led activities, and it's formal. Yeah, referring to Pak Yudilim, this is formal. So you have the right to delete posts without names, but you lead the activities. Yeah. All right. Okay, some of you might familiar with WhatsApp. You can have discussion in WhatsApp group. You can have discussion in Telegram group. It's okay, but feeling different. You will not see the branches. Yeah, it's very difficult to have a discussion later on. If you have, say, 40 students, you have 30 students, might be a bit difficult to handle the discussion. With Tricyder, hopefully that's help. One idea, then they can respond. Maybe there are more than 2 or 3, 5 or 2, 5 responding in one issues. And a Telegram that might, or in a WhatsApp and Telegram, that might be a problem. Yeah, it's low bandwidth as well, so it doesn't require a lot of bandwidth for three-sided. Yeah, so teachers-led activity, you can use three-sided, Padlet, ask them to go to open library or other resources. Okay, now interaction with friends. That's another interaction. So that's learning happen. Working in group, pair work, working outside the classroom and things like that. Have a look at the potential of virtual space so that we can make their interaction better. Yeah. So it's a place where students learn from each other. It's informal. Yeah. It's start with sharing rumors, usually gossip about that lecture, gossip about their boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, favorite food or whatever, drama Korea and others, games probably. Yeah, but you can use that space later on to help become in line with the activities that you have physically. Now, this is my interpretation about working with peers. Discussion board, discussion forum. If you have a discussion board and discussion forum in the campus website, for example, or campus LMS, usually doesn't work because you have to log in, then you have to click something and blah, 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 and it's very formal. Yeah. It's more informal. It's student-centered, should be. So the teacher can be there, but it may be in a certain situation better not to be there because that's informal. If you are there as a teacher, they will not talk freely. Or if you are there, but you're quiet, not saying a word, they will talk more. Yeah. The question is, do I provide or introduce digital space for my students to interact? Or I just let them, I don't care. They chat wherever they want to. Yeah. Or do they create their own after playing Dota, for example? Yeah. Now, a discussion board that we can use, Padlet, we can use for discussion board. Like I already give you some example for us to do a discussion. Make it informal, ask their opinion, post pictures there, and so on, so that they can respond to the post. Make it informal. Yeah, I try very hard to put my Padlet informal, but maybe you will feel it formal. I don't know. My question was casual. Maybe you did not feel it, or maybe it's still formal for you. Could be. Yeah. Webclat is also a discussion board that you can introduce. Three-sider is discussion board that you can introduce. So that they can become more informal talking about things there. Yeah. Or you can use another one that's very popular. I'm not going to show you, but you can explore on your own. It's Flipgrid. How many of you familiar with Flipgrid? Can you respond in the chat, please? Familiar with Flipgrid? Kueka, you familiar? Neng, no. Not yet, Pak. No. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a story about Flipgrid. I'm not going to show you how, because Flipgrid is a high bandwidth. If I show it to you right now, my Zoom will freeze because I'm using Zoom with a high bandwidth. Now, if I open Flipgrid, that will become chaos. Yeah, better not. But I'm going to tell you the story. Flipgrid is a video base. For example, I'm opening Flipgrid, I'm recording my video. My name is Jati, blah, blah, blah. I think this lecture, blah, 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 blah. I post it, boom. Then I can invite friends. If I put that in the group, the friends can respond to my video. using video. With click, then blah, 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 telling the response, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Another friend can respond again using video. So it's going to be one topic or one person ideas responded by the whole class ideas, all of them using video. Okay, so it's like chatting live using video. Okay, so it's for asynchronous. That one, it's a good if you live in or your students living in the area where they don't have problem with internet connection. If they have problem with internet connection, better not introduce this to them, yeah, because it's a video-based, interactive, it's fun, it's great, but again, if you have bandwidth limitation, forget about a Flipgrid. And there are other ideas, other things that you can use. Okay, that's my interpretation on that. Yeah. Now, we have seen the learning space and interaction in virtual and in physical. They evolve together. They taken place alongside. You cannot just live in the physical world without living in the virtual world. You have a physical learning space for learning, but you have to right now have the access to virtual learning space. If you interact right now with physical interaction, then you have to include, you have to somehow include that interaction virtually, so that what you are talking about, what you are discussing about, become better. There are more chance. Yeah. So that's my kayak gitu. Yeah, from my observation of the business and observation of what happened right now, that you have to do that. If you're a lecturer, you just based on a physical space, you're going nowhere, because the business, the world, they're evolving the virtual space and the physical space on and off, and they walk along the way to a certain destination. Yeah, if you are teaching so that the students become smarter in this, then you have to think of how to provide them with interaction physically, physical space, and also virtual learning space and virtual interaction. Suka tidak suka, mau tidak mau, that's where we live in now. And metaverse is coming. I'm not going to talk about metaverse, but metaverse is coming in the next 5 years. Like it or you don't like it, it's going to be there. Yeah. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit towards the end of my presentation is about AI, artificial intelligence. Some of you already familiar with AI, some of you not yet. So I'm going to talk a little about this, but not in a very detail. It's a very good for you in the context of higher education to introduce some of this, then do some reflection. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's still in a development. In the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully that will become a lot better. Yeah. Now, my questions. How many of you using Google Assistant or Siri? Can you respond in the chat box, please? Are you using Siri or Google Assistant? Yes, Listiana. Thank you. Others? Yes, yes, yes. You use Google Assistant. Yeah, because then you don't have to type. Yeah, you don't have to type. You can just instruct your or ask your mobile to do something for you. Okay. For example, if I talk to my Siri, Then go to this. Hello, how are you?
Everything is hunky-dory.
If I said to my student teaching in high school, hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. That's the answer. I'm talking to Siri, the answer is different. Hi, how are you?
Hey, I can't complain. Thanks for asking.
Hi, I can't complain. Thanks for asking. So think about this. Yeah, how can you use Siri or Google Assistant for teaching? If you are teaching in junior high or senior high, how will you manipulate this AI so that the student will practice talking to a machine? I have tried one long time ago with my semester 1 student. I asked my students, can you talk to your Google Assistant or Siri and make them angry? Not the questions. What make them angry? First, they're trying so much, talking a lot to the Siri and so on and so on. Maybe they don't find the answer. The point is not that. The point is I want my semester 1 student speaking as much as possible, practicing their pronunciation, talking to Siri, not talking to me. Yeah, talking to a machine. That's one way. So think about that. You have to be a little bit crazy somehow, thinking about that. But you have the machine, it's free, and everyone got that. Doesn't need high bandwidth anyway. Yeah. Big question is, how should I, how can I, I'm teaching speaking, for example, how can I make my semester 1 or semester 2 students talking that much to Google Assistant or Siri? Yeah. Okay. Good to know that. Bixby is also good. Bu Masita, you can try that. So you can use that for teaching purposes. In higher education context, maybe not. For lower, maybe yes. How many of you familiar with, say, Elsa? Can you respond in the chat box, please? Elsa, the symbol icon is like this. Yeah, Elsa. That's an application. Ever heard? Try it. Elsa, it's a very good for pronunciation. Yeah, try it by yourself. Then you can recommend your students who need to improve their pronunciation. Yeah, give them advice, but you have to try it first so that you know how to pass the message to your students. Okay. Another AI that may be good for a teacher, it's called lesson writer. How many of you familiar with lesson writer? Can you respond in the chat box, please? Nistiana, yes. Others? No. Kolisa? Ima, no. Okay. Yeah, Poekara, yes, okay. Siti, no. Others? Tinda, no. Still no. It's okay, no need to worry. I need another 2 or 3 so that I decide whether I have to demonstrate it or not. Yes or no? Okay. No? Vicky, need another one to say yes or no before I decide. Soalnya kalau semua sudah tahu, ngapain saya jelasin gitu kan? No, okay, good. I'll show you. I'll go demonstration, but later you need to have your own account. Yeah, I'm going to demo it first. Wait a second. Why I go there? Yeah. Okay. Let me close some of my tabs first. You go to lessonwriter.com. Then you have to create an account. You have to register. I've registered, so I just log in. Then log on there. Okay. Then this machine will design a draft. Again, it's a draft of a lesson plan for the teacher. If you are teaching in high school, maybe this is good. If you are teaching semester 1 or semester 2, maybe it's good. If you are teaching micro teaching, or you're teaching how to create a lesson plan, maybe you need to introduce this to your students. And you have to start thinking, maybe I have to revise my lesson plan. Yeah, think about that, because there is a machines that help teachers to write their lesson plan. So you click start teaching. What you need is a text. If you have a URL, you have to pay. Yeah, so it's better. The free one is text. So if you click the text, then select the class. I will choose this, a title. Then I add, for example, the author, the sources of a website. Then I have to paste the text there. Let me find text first. For example, I'm going to use this text appropriate for my first year student. So I click that. Then I copy. Okay. Then I just paste it there. Let's see what happened. Yeah. Then I create from this text. So I'm creating a lesson plan helped by a robot. Okay. It's there. Then I just click continue. Later you have to explore more. Yeah. Now, you can choose express, meaning that the robot will do it for you 100%. If you choose standard, the robot will ask you a lot of questions so that you have to answer to adjust with your context. If you type details, they will give you more alternative. Yeah. For the purpose of demo, I'm going to use express. So I'm hand off. I just trust the robot to do it for me. I might revise it later. Yeah. Let's see what happened. Takes time. Yeah. So I save and continue. I can save it in a Word format later. Then I can modify it. Yeah. Now it's there. This is the worksheet for the student. Okay. Pronouncing, that's the suggestion from the robot. This is the vocabulary that we have to teach the students according to the robot. This is the text that I paste. And this is the comprehension questions that the robot can create. Again, I can modify it later. Yeah. Then they give a grammar focus. They give a root word stem. They give vocabulary practice exercise. They have matching practice exercise for vocabulary. They have vocabulary practice that they have to write their own sentences. Okay, that's a worksheet for the students created by the robot. Now, if you click lesson plan, yeah, they give you the lesson plan, the objective, the vocabulary, the activity, description, differentiation guide, and also the assessment. It's there given, yeah, very complete, and also the answer key of the exercises. So again, this is created by a robot. Not perfect, but it could be a draft for the teacher to write their lesson plan based on the text. So the robot, it's called lessonwriter.com. So it's may be useful for you if you are teaching low level. Yeah. If you are teaching in English department, then you are teaching micro teaching or how to create lesson plan, maybe you can use this and then start asking your student how to modify this. What's the strength of the robot's lesson plan? What should be improved and things like that. Yeah, instead of teaching how to create a lesson plan from the scratch, you can assign the student to criticize the lesson plan from or created by AI. Yeah, maybe that's just an idea. Okay, so that's lesson writer. So what do you think of lesson writer? Can you respond in the chat box, please? Is it useful, do you think? Lesson writer, can you answer that? Okay. Thank you, that's me. Good. Yeah. Now, that's robot around us. Ya, banyak yang belum kenal, tapi mungkin ada banyak lagi yang lain. Ya. Another one that you will find amazing is Quillians. Quillians is a robot that will design creating a questions for you from a text. If you are teaching reading, then the most difficult part is to create questions for the students. So if you get a text from a Jakarta Post, for example, it's a hard work to create from scratch. So you can use Quillians to create the questions for you. I'm not going to demo, but the idea is click the title there, paste the text in here, and then go proceed. Choose the free version, then you can download the free version of the questions. Yeah, try that and explore. That will make your life easier. If you are teaching how to teach reading, or you teach a micro teaching, maybe you have to explore this, put it some consideration so that you can advise your students to explore and become a better teacher later. Yeah, and in the term of put the context in the student's mind, like what the students like to read and so on, and the robot will help you, help the teacher to create the question. Yeah. Okay, that's AI for resources. Now, how many of you familiar with chat box? Anyone familiar with, say, for example, chat box like Orai is also chat box, but it's paid right now. Is it the same with quizzes? No, that will create questions for you. Yeah, you're familiar with chat box. There are a lot of chat box around. How many of you familiar with virtual writing tutor? Are you familiar with virtual writing tutor that you can explore? I'm not going to explore all of this, yeah, but you can search later on in Google what's EssayBot and so on, Pro Writing Aid. I would like to show you Quillbot. Quillbot is for if you need to paraphrase, then the machine will paraphrase for you. Yeah. Virtual writing tutor, are you familiar with that? Some of you, yes. Okay, Punur, yes. Others? No? Okay. I'm going to show you, then we can have a discussion later, yeah? Virtual writing tutor. Virtual writing tutor is similar to Grammarly, but it's free. Grammarly, you have to pay. This one free. The advantages of this is that can score the essay for you and give advice in details. Yeah, I'm going to show you just one feature. Then you can explore that on your own later. Yeah. For example, let me check what I have. Hold on. For example, I have to quit this one first. For example, I'm going to mark or give advice to my students' work. So this is the students' work. Then I'm going to give advice or to them to improve the writing. Yeah. So I copy this short essay, 414 word, copy. Then I put it in here, virtual writing tutor. Yeah. Okay. Then click score essay. And this is an opinion essay. Yeah, depends on the essay. This machine can get advice and score opinion essay and also argumentative essay. So this one is opinion essay, so I click check. And this machine is quite smart, will give the score to my students 64.25. Yeah, you can print the feedback. The feedback that this machine generates is very detailed, talking about cohesion, talking about dynamism, and so on and so on. And we have the essay structure. Yeah. Then we have a lot of input here, the vocabulary, and so on. Yeah. Then vocabulary advice, and so on. So this one, it's good for the students to have a look. Yeah. Then my job later, after the students improving their writing, my job is more on, look, this is your writing. Now let's talk about the flow, the way you argue, the way you organize your ideas, like that, but not in the grammar, not in the cohesion, not because that one will be handled by the student in a group talking to virtual writing tutor. Yeah, that's the development of AI up to this moment. Kalau zaman dulu, kalau essay kayaknya nggak bisa di generate sama mesin, bisa. Yeah. Another one that's still free, and maybe hopefully it's going to be free. It's called paperator.com. Yeah, you do not need to log in, just use the free for free now. Then you can click here, you can paste your students' work. You could select the author, that's college, undergraduate, type, submitting is essay, because this will take other types. Click here, then get report. Yeah. Again, this is still free service. Usually, I will ask my students to submit this preparator.
Datang seekor nyamuk.
Or virtual writing tutor or preparator or seekor nyamuk to score their essay before they submitting to me. Yeah, take some time. Then the student can check the spelling, they check the grammar, the word choice, even the style. Then they can click the grade. Yeah, but it take a while to have a look at that. Okay. So let's look at the grade. I click the grade. the student will get B, 82. Yeah, so if you're happy with 82, give it to me. If you are not happy, talk to your friend, revise your work, and then give it to me again. Something like that. Yeah. So the students can revise their own work with the help of the AI. Yeah. That's the development of AI so far. Yeah. Now, how to start integrating technology in your setting? Share your ideas. I can ask you to share the ideas here. I'm using, can you answer that in the chat box, please? I'm using
Presider.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it. I think you are tired. Yeah, but the idea is there. After a workshop, long way then, how to start integrating text in your setting, you can share your ideas. I'm going to share it with you anyway. Then you can check that later. It's here already to start with. Yeah, after you listen to the AI, you can continue after the workshop. You can continue after this meeting later on, and that will circle around you, and everyone can have a look at the argument. If you do it later, maybe that's better. Yeah, not synchronously. Yeah, ideally, Reciter is for asynchronous activities. Okay, so we all have experience of interaction in face-to-face and online setting. Now, my takeaway questions. Learning from face-to-face
All right.
interaction, what we should keep and preserve. Learning from digital interaction that we have been doing for almost 2 years, what should we keep and preserve? Or how can we adjust the teaching for the better? Okay, any ideas? What should we keep and preserve for interaction face-to-face? Can you type in the chat box very quickly, please? Any idea? What should we keep? Engaging activities. Okay. Three-sider engaging activities. Thank you, Kawan Indonesia. Other idea? The interaction. Yes. So you need to interact physically, and also you have to interact virtually. To interact with your student virtually is not easy. Kalau jawab WA lama banget. Ditanyain apa ini itu, jawabnya kapan-kapan gitu kan. So think about that. Maybe you should separate your WA with email and so on and so on. Think about that. But the students need to interact with you outside the classroom. Kalau interact di WA sopan nggak? We need to think about that. Maybe they are not polite. That's another job for us to teach them how, yeah, and when, and what language. Right now, the problem that I encounter is email. Some of my students treating email like WhatsApp. Yeah, no dear sir, blah, 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 and then closing, there is no closing. Just 2 or 3 sentences. Pak, saya mau tanya ini, begini, begini, begitu, full stop. Not thank you, whatever. It's not like interacting in email. So think about that. There are a lot of things that we have to think about to preserve the politeness, the warmness in the digital world, and also in the physical world. Yeah. Another questions. Should we change our curriculum? We change syllabus? We change our lesson plan? Think about that. I don't want you to answer it right now, but to keep in mind, there are AI. I'm talking about, only give you 2 examples, but there are some more. There are a lot of tools for interaction. We have practiced it. Think about it. We change, we keep the way it is. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, we change quickly, or we left behind. And we are waiting, oh yeah, that universe, they already changed this, and then we will follow the path, or should we explore and we become the pioneer? Yeah. So think about that in the context of higher education. Yeah. Promotion. There's going to be a conference in Jogja. ITEL will run a conference talking about digital or technology in language learning in collaboration with the British Council and Universitas Mercu Buana. It's going to be face-to-face. It's on then, now, and the future direction. Yeah.
It's very interactive. I'm not familiar with some of the application, but later I will try for us to improve our teaching method. Now I open question for those who want to ask. Since we don't have much time, only 12 minutes to end this meeting, so I let have comment or deliver the question.
Ya,
Jadi
Pak,
sebenarnya
ya.
sudah pada nanya ya
boleh
Pak
saya?
ya during the session. Oh ya silakan.
Boleh saya?
Boleh, silakan Bapak.
Ya, Gunawan, terima kasih. Dulu saya pernah menghadiri acara Bapak di Politeknik Negeri Jakarta ya. Itu tentang penggunaan OBS. Nah, permasalahannya sekarang ini untuk ICT ya, for English Literature semester 4. My question is stimulate to have their own account and then content. So it means that maybe I monitoring. What would say? I supervise him. Yeah? I supervise them. I monitor them. I support them to make as the content creator. So how about it is very large. Yeah. We have 3 accounts that I asked them to make it. First YouTube, second TikTok, and the third is Instagram. But YouTube is the main resource for the students to make their own content, and then they can. I use TikTok and Instagram for them to what we say. Mempromosikan ya, to promote their content into their TikTok or maybe Instagram. Is it good idea that I want to share with you? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak. That's a good idea. Now that's what's come in my mind. It's the programming. It's good, and the way you share is very good. Maybe the students need help in creating the content. Kontennya apa Pak biasanya?
Kontennya saya berikan opsi itu untuk yang grup itu memang ada 2 ya, 1 grup 1 individual. Kalau yang grup mungkin saya bebaskan, tetapi dengan durasi minimal 6 menit ya. 6 menit, tapi nanti tinggal dipecah di TikTok atau di Instagramnya, mungkin konten yang terpenting atau mungkin yang bisa stimulus. Tapi yang kedua itu kontennya untuk yang individual, 2 itu wajib sastra, film, drama, atau mereka bikin kreasi sendiri lah gitu ya. Tapi nanti tambahin 1 lagi yang individual itu mereka harus membuat konten bebas. Ya mau soal apapun lah itu bebas, kecuali ya kebanci-bancian itu saya larang sekali. LGBT we do not pro at all. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Pak. If you're asking your students to write a short script of movie, literature, drama like that, maybe you can introduce a masterpiece generator AI, dicoba. Di situ ada namanya, saya share di chatbox, namanya sekarang lagi maintenance masalahnya, ya, websitenya. Tapi itu bisa membuat generating karakter. Jadi kalau mau bikin karakter tuh apa aja sih, nanti AI-nya akan bantu. Kalau mau nulis puisi yang bagus kayak apa, ada di situ, gitu ya. Jadi ada plot generator macam-macam. Itu ada masterpiece-generator.org, but under maintenance. Jadi nanti kalau pas live lagi mungkin perlu diusahakan. Keren AI-nya. Kalau lagi jatuh cinta sama siapa mau bikin puisi yang bagus, diklik aja nanti. Itu ya. So that's to help the students getting ideas, Pak. Sometimes they can get help very easily from YouTube and also other resources in programming. Tapi untuk mendapatkan konten yang asik itu biasanya perlu dibantu. Ya, hopefully that's the site is helpful for you.
Baik, thank you.
Thank
Terima
you.
kasih, Pak.
Oke, PPT-nya bisa didapatkan Pak Kumawang, bisa. PPT saya ada di mana ya? Ada di, bentar saya ketikkan ya.
Okay, any other questions?
Ya.
Oh ya, ada yang ingin minta PPT ya?
Ya,
Bisa
boleh.
di-share, Pak Gunawan?
Bisa. Apa boleh di-share? Ya, silakan.
Okay.
Ada di chat box.
Thank you. Any other questions before we end this discussion today? Ya, sebetulnya tadi sudah banyak bertanya ya during the workshop session ya, Pak.
Ya. Dan saya sudah banyak nanya-nanya sih.
Ya.
Ya, semoga bermanfaat, itu aja. Dan dicoba aja, dicoba. Banyak situs, banyak apa dicoba. Kalau tidak dicoba, nggak bisa tularin ke mahasiswa nanti. Ya. Ada question? Silakan, kalau masih ada.
Ya, silakan. Ada yang ingin bertanya lebih lanjut? Gak apa-apa, bahasa Indonesia juga. Either English or Indonesian.
Mungkin satu lagi kali ya, Pak ya?
Oke, one more ya.
Mahasiswa itu terkadang merasa malu kalau tampil wajahnya di video, Pak. Jadi banyak yang pengennya tuh, Pak, gimana kalau kita nggak tampil tanpa muka gitu. Justru saya bilang itu adalah waktu yang tepat untuk public speech ya, latihan public speech untuk tampil di muka umum lah, sosial media. Nah, tipsnya itu gimana ya Pak ya, mendorong mereka itu punya keberanian, karena kan kadang kita juga kalau ngelihat rekaman wajah kita ya di YouTube gitu ya, kayaknya gimana gitu. Coba mungkin ada saran gitu Pak buat kita ini anak-anak ini, silakan Pak.
Kalau saran saya sih, saya tidak punya pengalaman ya untuk ke situ, tapi mungkin lebih ke audiensnya siapa. Ya, mungkin itu perlu dipertimbangkan juga. Kamu bikin YouTube ini yang mau nonton siapa? Kan, apakah perlu nonton wajahmu? Apakah perlu apa yang diperlukan penonton? Mungkin ke sana dulu, Pak. Ya, jadi tidak untuk ke dirinya supaya pede dan segala macam, tapi difokuskan pada kamu mau buat ini untuk siapa sih? Gitu kan. Jadi nanti kan terus mempengaruhi
target audience ya, target marketing.
Target marketnya itu yang diperlukan. Ada pertanyaan dari Pak Bunyamin atau Ibu ini. What is the difference between web-based learning and AI? Web-based learning, web it's designed by human. Ya, AI sekarang ada namanya machine learning. Mesin belajar dari mesin. Ya, they using a lot of resources yang kita nggak nyangka dan tidak diprogram manusia. They can program themselves. Itu AI. Jadi kalau kita ngobrol dengan Google Assistant itu, the more you use it, the better. Dia akan mengenalin Anda. Ya, jadi dia belajar. Bukan kita yang belajar. Mereka belajar dari kita, dan mereka belajar dari mesin. Jadi mesin belajar dengan mesin. So think about that. Kalau web based itu didesain oleh manusia dan nggak belajar apa-apa, dia statis aja. Kalau disuruh begini, dirancang manusia. Kalau ini dipencet bisa begini, bisa begitu dan segala macam. It should be with a human touch. But AI, no. They can learn from each other. Machine learning from another machine. Does AI belong? Does virtual writing tutor belong to AI learning analytics? Yes, that's. I don't know where it's belong. I'm not sure. Yeah, but the virtual writing tutor is free. There are a lot of advertisement, but it's free. I don't know who is the owner. Like paperwriter.com, I don't know who own that one. Terus pertanyaan berikutnya, akan berapa lama Pak di situ? Kalau dia sudah menemukan dan selesai belajar dari manusia, dia akan menjadi berbayar. Right now, they are collecting data from us, and we can use them. When they are happy with them, and they can sell that, they will become a pro. So we have to pay. Itu cara kerja AI saat ini. So lesson writer apakah akan selamanya gratis? No. Sekarang gratis. Semakin dia pinter, nanti berbayar. Pasti tidak mahal sih, tapi pasti berbayar. Like Orai. Orai itu keren banget. Dulu sempat gratis. Orai is when you speak in front of your application, then they can score you, they can give you a lot of advice. It was free. But now you have to pay. Yeah. So that's AI, the world of AI. Hopefully that will give you an idea, Lestiana. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, any other question? Sorry, I got trouble with my device. Oke, the last Pak, singkat saja. Pertanyaan terakhir dari Bu Listiana, does virtual writing tutor belong to AI learning analytics?
Yeah, I have answered that, Bu Alvi.
Oh, maaf, nge-lag soalnya tadi.
Iya, betul. Tidak apa-apa.
Trouble. Okay, alright, I think that's enough for today.
Di rumah. Unmute dulu deh, Alfi. Unmute dulu.
Sorry, tadi trouble makanya jadi ini. Okay, so we can conclude that life is now changing and our learning space now is different from the past, but we have internet, we have artificial intelligence, and any tool to support our online teaching. Okay, before I close this meeting, please closing statement, the last, Pak Gumawan.
Closing statement, kalau saya yang tua saja bisa menggunakan apps, kenapa yang muda tidak gitu? Itu aja closing statementnya. I found a lot of AI, kenapa yang muda-muda ini kemana? Jangan terbawa oleh sosmed yang nggak penting. Sosmed boleh, saya ikut sosmed, tapi nggak usah terlalu fokus ke sana. Banyak hal that we can explore. So explore that. Itu aja sih. Jadi closing statement-nya, anak muda ini pada kemana sih? Nggak kenalan sama AI, nggak kenalan sama banyak virtual space yang bisa kita explore. Ya, so think about that. Don't get too much social media. If you get too much social media just with your neighbor, you will not go anywhere. Kalau ikut Twitter, jangan Twitteran sama temen yang satu kelas. Twitterlah sama Nick Pichi. Itu Twitternya keren. Karena dia banyak membahas tentang teknologi in education. Follow the Twitter of somebody prominent. Mereka, para scholars, itu punya Twitter. Ikutin Twitter mereka, and bergaulah sama mereka. Jangan sama sosmed yang ecek-ecek tetangga itu loh. Sorry Bu Alfi, aku statementnya nggak bagus nih, Klin. Tidak wise nih kayaknya. Thank you Ibu.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Pak Gumang Jati. So that's the end of our webinar. And to remind, fill in the attendance list. Yeah, we have shared the attendance list on the chat box. And me as the moderator, I thank to the audience, all the participants to join this webinar, and